Well, hello friends, welcome back to the shop. Today is Saturday, September 24th, and autumn began this past week, and today is actually the first morning that I think I would characterize as being crisp. So it was actually a very nice surprise when I walked out the door this morning. Went out and ran a few errands, picked up the easy coffee, and yeah, so far the day's off to a great start. So I hope you're all doing well, and that all your weekends are turning out enjoyably for you. Forgive me if I sniffle a bit. I'm still dealing with some residual cold stuff. The cold has passed, but it takes a while for all the various symptoms to completely go away. So we're just giving that some more time. So this morning I wanted to talk to you about the tobacco that I've chosen to focus on this month, and that is Cornell & Deal's Old Joe Krantz. This is a jar that I put away in April of 2015, so this has a bit of age on it. And as I've mentioned before, I think a lot of Cornell & Deal blends really benefit from even just a few months of being jarred up, and I think that's just because they're so fresh when they're made, that what you're getting is a product that just needs a little bit more time to meld. I'm not being critical of them, I'm just saying that the quality just seems to improve quite a bit after just a few months of being jarred up. So Old Joe Krantz, like I said, it's the tobacco that I'm focusing on in the month of September. And it's a tobacco that I've had before, and I'm willing to bet that most of you have had before. But it is really, well, it's certainly one of my favorite Cornell & Deal blends. It may be my favorite Cornell & Deal blend. I rate it very highly. And Old Joe Krantz and Haunted Bookshop are two of the only blends in my cellar that I have more than a pound of put away. And I do that just because I really enjoy smoking it, and would smoke it throughout the year, but I'm trying this new thing where I'm focusing each month on a different tobacco. So Old Joe Krantz was blended by Bob Ranowski, and if you don't know about Mr. Ranowski, he was a blender who did quite a bit of work for Cornell & Deal, collaborated with Craig Toller, who is the founder of Cornell & Deal, along with his wife. Mr. Ranowski is a fantastic blender. He's the guy responsible for Haunted Bookshop, which is the tobacco that I'm going to focus on next month, because I'm just that cheesy that the month of October with Halloween in it, I'm going to do Haunted Bookshop. But Old Joe Krantz, it's described sometimes as a more sort of powerful or more stronger version of Haunted Bookshop. The history is interesting. So Ranowski said he was trying to blend something that was a tribute to his grandfather. And his grandfather, who I guess was named Joe Krantz, was his pipe smoking mentor. So it's a really nice story. And he describes his grandfather as always smoking burley blends. I don't remember the blends that he pointed out, but Edgeworth Sliced was one of the blends. And he also described him as always having a beat up old pipe and an atmosphere of pipe smoke around him. And I just thought that was really a wonderful description. And the thing that it made me think of is, all the recent emphasis on codgers. Well, it sounds like Old Joe Krantz was actually a codger, smoking some burleys of the day and using his well-worn, well-loved pipes. And so if you think about it, Old Joe Krantz in a way is probably one of the first boutique codger blends. God forgive me for saying that. But no, at the time that this was blended, Cornell & Deal was still a very small operation, so it definitely would be considered a boutique tobacco at that time. And yeah, it was a tribute to an old codger. So the tobacco itself, it includes ribbon-cut burley, red Virginias, and Perique. And it's definitely a Perique-forward blend. I wouldn't call it, I don't think the Perique is overwhelming by any stretch. I think it's well balanced with the other tobaccos. In terms of jar note or pouch note, it's got that typical Cornell and Deal Burley, sort of sour, musty, earthy, wonderful aroma. And I don't know how to characterize it other than to say it's unmistakable. I think I could identify a Cornell and Deal Burley blend blindfolded, just based on the jar note. I don't want to test that, but I believe it. So, excuse me, I'll show you a bit of the tobacco. I know this doesn't work very well, but... So it's mostly ribbon cut. You can see some bits of dark perique in there. And there's some cube cut burley mixed in as well. And when you first light it, there's this strong burley flavor, a little bit sour, and just very much burley. And I love burley, but I think if it stayed that way, this would probably be a difficult tobacco to smoke because it's burley. But very quickly, after just one or two puffs, the sweetness of the Virginia slides in, and the perique spiciness slides in, and they are just wonderful. It's a tobacco that some people say you can't possibly smoke this all day. It apparently has a very high nicotine content. I am not sensitive to nicotine, so I can't comment on that. But the only thing that you can do wrong with this tobacco is smoke it too fast. If you smoke it too fast, it's going to get harsh, it's going to smoke hot, and just not be pleasant. If you're willing to take your time with it, it's a very rewarding blend. And it's complex enough to keep you interested, but it's not one of these blends where you've got 15 different tobaccos in it, and you've got to be thinking about it all the time to really get the most out of it. It's just a good, solid blend. And I think it's got enough of Burley and Virginia in it for really both sides of that line. So if you're a Burley lover, as I am, you'll probably really enjoy this. If you like red Virginias, if you like the deeper Virginia flavors, a sweet smoke, and some perique, this is probably a blend that you'd really enjoy as well. Now, it's interesting, it's often compared to Haunted Bookshop, and I'll talk about Haunted Bookshop next month, so I don't want to go into too much on that. But the difference, according to the blender, between this and Haunted Bookshop is that he added more red Virginia. And I find that a little surprising, because when I compare the two, I actually feel that this is not sweeter than Haunted Bookshop. In fact, it's probably a little bit more to the harsh side of things. Not in a bad way, but just it's got more of it grabs you more. And I just wouldn't expect that from an addition of red Virginia, but apparently that is the primary difference between the two blends. So, Old Joe Krantz, in the unlikely event that you have not yet tried this tobacco, I highly recommend it. It's absolutely one of my favorites. And yeah, I'm just happy that September is Old Joe Krantz month. So, in other news, so you've seen I finished up the Brandy Cobb project and sent that off. And to be honest with you, the shop is an absolute disaster. I have not been down here since I packed up the Brandy Cobb and put it in the mail. Just been very, very busy otherwise, and I've decided that I'm not going to do any shop work until we return from vacation, and I'll tell you a bit about that as well. When I do get back, I've got a really interesting project that I've been looking forward to for some time now, and it's another project for a friend, which is always fun. And this one involves a very nice pipe, actually, and the person has asked me to add a bit of interest to it. So I've got sort of free reign with this one, and not yet quite sure what I'm going to do. So more on that next month. But I will basically be taking a break from the shop until after I'm back from vacation. So this time next week, this is Saturday morning, so next Saturday, I'll be in the air on my way to San Francisco. And my wife and I are going out there, and we're going to be spending, I think, 10, 11 days in California, starting in San Francisco, spending some time in like Napa Valley, doing some wine tours, driving down the coast stopping in Monterey and a few other places along the way. Ultimately, getting to Palm Springs, where we are going to be attending a concert. And my wife's a wonderful woman, and she puts up with an awful lot with me, and she's always indulged me in my hobbies and my likes in music and movies and so on. And any of you that know me know that I am not a rock and roll person. I went to high school, so I know who the bands are. I'm not sheltered by any stretch, but it's just not the music that I choose to listen to. And I'm much more of a jazz guy. I like older music, 40s, 30s, even back to the 20s. And I like some other. I like bluegrass, so that's very enjoyable. But I just don't like rock and roll. And you guys that do, that's great. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not my thing. Well, my wife is a lifelong Rolling Stones fan, and she's never had a chance to see them live. And our anniversary is this coming week. We will have been married 18 years. And we've both been through a lot over the past year or so, and this concert came up, and she was excited by it, and I thought, what the heck, we're gonna do a big vacation. I'm gonna treat her to this. Now, unfortunately for me, it's not just a Rolling Stones concert. It's actually this big mega desert concert where there's going to be 6 groups performing, and you guys out there that are rock fans are probably going to be green with envy because it is a fantastic lineup. So it's the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, and I have seen Bob Dylan a couple of times, so I'm actually looking forward to that one. Neil Young, Paul McCartney, The Who, and Roger Waters. So it's a big deal if you're a rock and roll fan, and she's very excited about it. I'm excited about the trip. I'm excited about her excitement. I'm excited about doing lots of fun things and all that. But boy, there's going to be 3 nights there where I'm going to be wearing earplugs, to be honest. So I don't know how much I'll be in touch over the next couple of weeks. It's unlikely that I'll be doing regular videos in any way until probably, I think, October 15th. Somewhere in that range is the next Saturday after I return. I return on October 12th. I may do a few quick hellos if I'm at something interesting, or if we see something pipe or tobacco related, I might do a quick hello. So you might see a couple of short videos from me over the next couple of weeks, but certainly none of the regular stuff. And that's just the way it's going to be. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great time. I also think that I will be able to survive the onslaught of rock and roll music, and I'm going to be taking my headphones along, and I've got plenty of good music loaded up on my phone, so we'll be able to at least recover a bit between acts. So that's what the future holds for me, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend this week, and over the next couple of weeks when I'm out of touch, I hope you all have a great time. Do something fun with the folks that you love, and I will be back as soon as I can, and we'll really look forward to talking to you all again then. So goodbye now.